Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Reviewers and Advisor of this thesis proposal. Good morning, Miss Annie Maisaro, whom as my first reviewer, and also good morning to Miss Yanita Uswar, whom as my second reviewer, and also good morning to Sir Ari P. Eswondo, whom as my advisor. In this special occasion, I am Rama Anissa, a student of English Language Department, Faculty of Social and Science Education, University of Potensi Utama, Medan. First of all, I would like to thank to God who has given me a chance and healthy to attend this seminar. And also, I would like to thank to the reviewers and advisor who have given me an opportunity to present my thesis proposal with the title Improving Students' Grammar Mastery in Learning Passive Voice Using Make-A-Match Method. Well, my thesis proposal consists of 3 chapters. The first chapter is Introduction, which consists the background of the study, the problem of the study, the objective of the study, the scope and the limitation of the study, and also the significance of the study. And then, the next chapter is chapter 2, that is theoretical framework. In this chapter consists of the theories which related to the study. And then, the last chapter is chapter 3, that is research design. In this chapter consists of research design, data collecting techniques, and data analysis techniques. Okay, let me to start from the chapter 1. First, about the background of the study. English is the most principal language that is learned by the student of 11th grade. Also, English is one of subjects at school. In learning English subject, grammar is the main point of making sentence. Also, according to UR in 1996 on page 57 state that grammar is the way words are put together to make correct sentences. Therefore, grammar can be interpreted as a guide to make correct sentences in English. In addition, passive voice is one of grammar aspects that is learned by the student of 11th grade. But during teaching training program, I found students of SMA Swasta Imelda Medan, especially in 11th IPS, who had difficulties on passive voice. Therefore, the student make many mistakes on passive voice. The student mistake on passive voice are the first, the student do not use the appropriate be that is used in certain tense. While the second is the student do not able to match between the subject and also the be. And then the third is the student do not understand in changing the form of infinitive verb into past participle. And then the last student mistake on passive voice is the students do not understand the form of regular or irregular verb. So, based on this problem, the researcher will use one of cooperative learning method, namely make-match method. The next slide is about problem of the study. Based on the background of the study, the researcher formulates a research question of this study as how does make-a-match method improve student grammar mastery in learning passive voice in 11th IPS at SMA Swasta Imelda Medan. The next slide is about the objective of the study. Based on the problem of the study, the researcher the objective of the study is to find out how make-a-match method improve the student grammar mastery in learning passive voice for the 11th student at SMA Swasta Imelda Medan. The next slide is about the scope and the limitation of the study. Based on this slide, there are 2 points that will be focused. The first is the study, and then the second is the limitation of the study. Okay, let me start from the scope of this study. The scope of this study is only focused on student grammar mastery in learning passive voice at SMA Swasta Imelda Medan, while the limitation of the study is only focused to be conducted on 11th EPS and also only use the tenses that are often used in the daily life, such as present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present future tense, and also the last one is past tense. Next, the last slide of chapter 1 is the significance of the study. This result of the study is expected useful for, first, English teacher. And then the second is for the student. The third is for the other researcher. It is expected useful for the English teacher who teach grammar, especially in teaching passive voice. And then the second is for the student. It is expected useful for the student to get a new and interesting learning experience in learning passive voice. And then also the third is for the other researcher. In this study, the researcher would like to contribute and add the reader's knowledge about variety teaching method, especially in teaching grammar. Okay, next let's move into the chapter 2. That is consists of the theories of the study, which related to this study. As well, we can see on this slide, there are two theories which related to this study. The first is about passive voice, and then the second is make-a-match method. Passive voice is a sentence where shows the subject receives the action, not perform the action. In passive voice sentences, the subject is the receiver of the action. This statement was adapted from Herring in 2016 on page 774. To make passive voice, we have to follow the form from passive voice. The form is subject plus be plus past participle. To make passive voice, we have to put be in the based on the certain tense and also change the form of verb into the past participle. Next is about make-a-match method. Make-a-match method is a cooperative learning method that uses cards as its medium to solve the problem. This statement is supported by Suprijono in 2009 on page 78, in Iriani in 2013 on page 5, who state that the needful of make-a-match is learning card containing question and the other card contain the answer. So, based on this theory, it can be concluded that make-a-match method is one of cooperative learning method which use cards to solve the problem. The cards contain the question and the other card contains the answer from the question. On this slide, there is a previous study. As well, we can see on the slide, I have put 3 of previous study which related to this study. Based on this previous study, we can see that the differences between the previous study with my study is the other researcher focused on increase the student vocabulary and reading comprehension, while my study is only focused on student grammar mastery. So, therefore, the study about passive voice using make-a-match method has never been conducted by the other researcher. And also, this study has never been conducted on classroom action research or CAR as its research design. The next slide is about the procedure of applying make-a-match method in learning passive voice. On this slide, there is some procedure of applying make-a-match method in learning passive voice. The first is teaching passive voice. The second is grouping. The third is sharing the card. The fourth is thinking the answer. The fifth is finding the partner. And then the sixth is checking the card. The 7th is shuffling the card, and then the last procedure is conclusion. Next, in the next slide, there is a conceptual framework which consists the diagram to show the process of the study. The first that will be conducted is teaching passive voice. So in this stage, I will teach all about things about passive voice, such as giving explanation about passive voice and explain about how to change active voice into passive voice, and then the last is giving explanation about the form of making passive voice. The second is make a match method. After make sure that the student have understood about passive voice, I will give them the treatment, that is by applying make a match method. Then after giving them the treatment, I will start the study by using classroom action research as my research design. As a result of the study is student mastery of passive voice. The next slide is chapter 3. This chapter consists of the research design, data collecting techniques, and data analysis techniques. In the first slide, there is a research design. To conduct the study, the researcher have to choose the research design that will be applied. In this study, I will use classroom action research or CAR as my research design. Classroom action research will be applied by using 2 cycles, and then the cycles have the same stage. There are 4 stages that will be applied or that will be conducted. The first is planning, the second is acting, the third is observing, and then the last one is reflecting. In the first stage is planning. In this stage, I will make lesson plan and the cards which contain passive and active voice. And then the second is acting. Acting is the second stage where the researcher or the student or the teacher will apply what have been planned before in lesson plan, and also giving and teaching passive voice by using make a match method or without make a match method. And then the third stage is observing. In this stage, the researcher will see or observe the result or the impact of what have been conducted by using make a match method or without make a match method. And then the last stage is reflecting. In this stage, the researcher will have to know the KKM of the school. If the student have passed the KKM, it means the cycle has ended. And then the next slide is about data collecting techniques. So in this slide, in this study, I will use and combine 2 techniques of the study of the collecting the data. The first is quantitative, and then the second is qualitative. Test will be applied as quantitative techniques, while observation and documentation will be applied as qualitative techniques. In the test, there are 2 types or 2 kinds of tests. The first is pre-test, and then the second is post-test. While in the observation, I will make an observation sheet which contain some indicators of the observation sheet. And then the last one is documentation. In this stage, I will take some photos or video from my phone or from mobile phone. The next slide is about data analysis techniques. After collect the data, I will analyze the techniques by using some steps or some techniques. The first is I will find out the mean score from the test by using this form. This form is x bar is sigma x divide n. X it means mean and sigma x is the total student score, while n is the number of students. And then the second step or the second technique is analyzing the class percentage. To find out the class percentage, I will use a form. The form is P is F divide N times 100%. P is the class percentage, F is total percentage score, and then N is number of students. And then the last techniques that will be applied is calculating the percentage of student improvement. It is to find out the percentage of student improvement by using two forms. Those are, first, P is y1 minus y divide y times 100%. And then the second form is P is y2 minus y divide y plus 100%. The explanation of this form is P it means percentage of student improvement, while y1 is post test 1 and y2 is post test 2, while y is pre-test result. Okay, I think that's all the presentation about my thesis proposal. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.